Hey out there and welcome. I'm Kate. I'm here today with the Cranky Pup Memphis and we're going to explore different variations on King Dancer pose or Natarajasana. So if you're in the mood to dance, find a quiet spot, roll out your mat, put your dance pants on, and I'll see you in a few. All right, guys, so we are going to start on our backs. So go ahead, lay down. Draw your knees in for a second, close your eyes, roll some circles on your lower back. Okay, and then from here you're going to take your right leg and cross it over your left. So you've got your thighs crossed, slide your hands to your knees or your shins. Feel your heels pull apart, pull away from each other, right? Let your outer hips lengthen, especially through that right side. And take a breath here. And when you exhale, you're going to let your arms drop to your sides, let your left foot hit the mat, and then drop both knees over to the right. You can slide your gaze to the left. Coming back up through the middle, keep your left foot on the mat and slide your right foot into your right hand for a half happy baby. You can keep your left knee bent, or you can stretch your left leg out on the floor. Whatever seems like a good plan today. Depending on what time of day, it may feel very different in your hips. Okay, so now you're gonna grab that foot with both hands. And this is where we try to have a little bit of fun with things. You're gonna press into this right foot so hard that you slowly start to come up. And if you don't make it, like I'm not gonna, come on back down and try it again. Okay, tuck your left foot underneath, plant your right, and step back. Drop your back knees, sink your hips. Take your chest, reach it forward. Inhale. And when you exhale, you're going to take this right foot, swing it back behind you. Find a three-legged table. Low belly strong, press the floor away. Shift your weight into your right hand. Left arm is going to reach forward. And from here, you're going to bend your right knee, press your right heel up toward the ceiling. And if you want to go for it, we're going to try our first variation here. You can grab this left hand to your right foot. If that doesn't work for you, you can just keep this. It's totally fine. Just warming up into those quads here. Inhale. And when you exhale, you're going to return your hand to the floor, knee to the mat, slide your hips back to your heels, and sit upright on your feet here. You're going to lean into your right hand, grab your left knee with your left hand, and peel up. So the top of your left foot's still rooted on the mat, and you can even push it down gently. Then we switch sides, right? So you're gonna lean over to the left, grab your right foot with your right hand or your right knee with your right hand, and breathe. Here we go. Gonna slide your hands forward, tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Take a moment here. Let your hips sway gently side to side. Then you're gonna gaze forward. Tiptoe your feet up to meet your hands, and then drop your bum to the floor and roll onto your back once again and hug your knees in. We're back. Take your left leg, cross it over your right. And again, you can grab your knees, your shins. If grabbing your ankles or your feet work for you, find what works. And as your heels sweep away from each other, feel your shoulders relax. That left side body lengthen through the outer hip. Inhale. When you exhale, you can let this right foot hit the mat. Arms come out to the sides. Now your knees are going to tip to the left. You can slide your gaze over to the right. If this feels like too much of a tug, you can always uncross your legs. Then bring yourself back up through center and bring your left leg into a half happy baby. And again, you can stretch this right leg out if you want. You can keep your foot right on the mat here. All right, then you're gonna grab this left foot with the right hand too. And here we go. I'm gonna push into my hand and see if I can. Okay, kick my way all the way up. That's a labor of love. And then you're gonna hug the right foot underneath, step the left foot onto the mat, and take the right foot. Step it back, drop your right knee, low lunge on the fingertips, stretch your chest forward as your hips sink down. Inhale, and when you exhale, our three-legged table. Swing the left leg back. Low belly in, press the floor away. Take your right arm, reach it forward. And you can stay right here. If you want to go for our little tiger pose variation, you're gonna bend your knee. You can reach back, maybe grab the foot. Maybe there's no grab today, that's okay. Feel your chest stretch forward. If you've got the foot, kick it into your hand. And then release your right hand down, left knee down. You're gonna tuck your toes under, walk your hands back toward your knees and your hips back toward your heels. And we're gonna stay in this little tiny, tight nugget of a pose. Press into the floor and lift your knees. So your heels might not come to the mat, and actually we're not angling to get them there. We're just working into your calves a little bit. So hands can stay on the mat for support. Just feel your heels press down toward the mat. Inhale. And when you exhale, you're just gonna straighten your legs and fold into your Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Press into your feet. Inhale, come all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. Sweep those arms, reach it up. And when you exhale, drag your hands down through prayer and step it to the top of your mat. But I'm gonna just spin around and go over here. Because it's fun, but you can walk yourself to the top of the mat. All right, here we go. Inhale, sweep your arms and reach them out, stretch them up. Exhale and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen out. When you exhale, fold, soften your knees, plant your hands and walk your feet back into a downward facing dog. We're still in our warm-up mode here. So you're gonna take your left knee and bend it. Big bend of your left knee. And then drop your right heel over to the left. So we're coming almost into a warrior one foot. That heel drops toward the midline. Keep pushing into both hands. And as you do, you can start to kind of sink that left hip down and feel the outside edge of that right hip pull up and back as if someone had a string and they were drawing you toward the back corner of the room. And then we switch. So find your down dog. Right knee bends, left foot's gonna kind of angle down. Heel drops toward the midline, press into your hands, and then let your right hip sink down. And again, you wanna feel this outer hip stretch up and back, left leg nice and straight. And then downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward into your plank. Exhale, lower your knees, chest and chin. Headbutt some blocks. Baby cobra. Exhale, release your forehead. Tuck your toes, press up and back. Downward facing dog. Let your hips sway gently side to side. Yes. Okay, we're gonna do one more of those stretches. So bend your left knee. You're gonna drop your right heel toward the midline, okay? And now from here, you're gonna push into this right hand, push back through your right foot. You're gonna take your left hand to the outside edge of this right leg. Right hip pulls up and stretches back. Soften down through the left hip. Push into your right hand and breathe. And then regular old dog. No offense, Memphis. Come back into downward facing dog. And you're gonna give a big bend to your right knee. Drop your left heel. Okay, we got this. Here we go. Right hand is gonna reach back, grab the outside edge, pull up and back through this outer left hip. Stay lifted. Take your gaze underneath your left armpit. Oh. All right, downward facing dog. Take your gaze forward and tiptoe. If you feel like hopping, you can hop at the top of the mat, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Press into your feet, come all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. Inhale, exhale, dive right back over your legs, fold. Halfway lift. And downward facing dog. Inhale, float your right leg up, reach it back. As you exhale, step it up between your thumbs. Drop your back knee and sink your hips. Okay, Anjaneyasana, inhale, take it up. And when you exhale, you're gonna bring your hands back down to the floor. Left hand stays on the mat. You can grab a block. Gonna slowly start to twist your torso to the right, bend your left knee, and reach your right hand back. Working a little deeper into the a hip flexor, your quadricep muscle. Please don't forget to breathe. Super important. And then lower that back foot to the mat. Take your right hand to your right thigh, lift your back knee, roll open even more into the twist, and sweep your right arm up. You're gonna take your right arm now and slide it underneath you. So your forearm is on your right thigh, drop your left heel, open up, side angle. And now your left hand can stretch straight out or right alongside your ear, whatever works for you today. Press into your feet. Soften the tops of your shoulders. And inhale, come up, warrior two. And from here, you're gonna flip your front palm, reach up, stretch back, reverse your warrior. We got this. Straighten your front leg, a little reverse Trikonasana, giving more length to this right side body. Then inhale, you're gonna come on up and then windmill your hands down to the floor. Pivot on the ball of your back foot. So we're in a long Parsvottanasana, a long pyramid pose. If you feel like your feet are too far apart, you can always hop it in. But we're gonna stay on the ball of your back foot for now. And again, if you want a little prop underneath your left hand, you can grab one. I'm gonna grab one. Take your right hand to your outer right hip. And as you scissor your inner thighs, lengthen your spine. And when you exhale, roll your right shoulder open. Yeah. And then from here, you can, if you want, take the right arm up. Doesn't always work for me. So I'm gonna stay right here. Inhale. And when you exhale, you're gonna fold over the leg. And then shift your weight forward into this right foot, into your left hand. We're gonna come up. So left hand still on the floor of the block, right hand on your outer right hip. And you wanna keep pulling that outer right hip away from you. Press the floor away. It just went from 0 to 60. And you're gonna bend that left knee. And if you want, grab a hold of that foot with your right hand, working a little revolved half moon. Or a revolved Ardha Chandra Chapasana, actually, right? Sugar cane. Take your gaze forward, bend your standing leg. Take your weight back toward your right heel a bit. And then you're gonna slowly, 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 slowly come up to stand revolved Nadarajasana. Wobble and fall, it's cool. And then step your left leg, whoa, next to your right. Sink your hips, find a chair pose. Inhale. And when you exhale, fold Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands and step it back. Downward facing dog, floating forward into plank. Lower down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, all the way under your belly. Slide your forearms underneath, prop yourself up. For Sphinx, roll your shoulders back. Feel that low belly lift. Okay, and then from here, you're gonna take your right forearm across in front of your chest, bend your left knee. Here we go. Grab for that left foot. Inhale. And when you exhale, release. Lowering down, slide your hands underneath, downward facing dog, up and back. Inhale, sweep the left leg up. Exhale, step it up between your thumbs. Drop your back knee. Anjaneyasana, inhale. All right, right hand's gonna come to the floor, left hand to your thigh here. We're gonna work that quad, right? So take your gaze back and bend your back knee. Grab for the foot. If the foot's really far away, you can lasso with the strap. It's always fun. Or you can just keep the twist here. All right, wherever you are, take a breath. Keep scissoring the inner thighs, drawing the legs in. All right, and then hands to either side of that left foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and we're gonna find the twist here even deeper now. Reach up through those left fingertips. Inhale. And when you exhale, slide your left forearm underneath you, drop your right heel, and we open into a side angle. Top arm alongside your ear if you want it there. Both shoulders soft. Here we go. Press into your feet. Inhale, come up, Vira 2. Flip your front palm, reach back, reverse your warrior. Press into your left foot, straighten that leg. Inhale. Exhale. We're gonna windmill all the way down to the floor. Pivot on the ball of that back foot. Finding blocks if you want them. Hop your back foot in if you feel too far apart. We've got our nice wide leg here. All right, right hand's gonna stay on the floor or a block. Honestly, a block just makes life way more pleasant in this pose. All right, from here, gonna take your left hand to your hip, lengthen your spine, inhale. And when you exhale, you're gonna twist open to the left. Keep this outer hip pulling back. You can take the left arm and reach it up. You can keep it right where it is. And then both hands to either side of that front foot. Grab your block. You're gonna hop your back foot in, slide your hand and your block forward. A little revolved half moon, lengthen your spine. Keep the action through that right leg and roll open again to the left. Can bend to this right knee, grab a hold. Here we go. Little revolved Ardha Chandrasana, Chapasana. What? I don't know either. All right, take your gaze to the floor. You're gonna bend your standing leg. Weight back into your left heel, so shift back gently. Push into your hand with your foot. That'll help you keep your weight backward so you can come up a little easier. Okay? And hang here for a moment. We got this. Inhale. And when you exhale, step your right foot next to your left. Sink your hips, chair pose. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Halfway lift and lengthen out. And downward facing dog. Inhale forward into your plank. And lower it all the way down to the floor. Slide your forearms underneath. We come up, Sphinx pose. This time, the left forearm's gonna come across in front of your chest. Bend your right knee, reach back, grab for that foot. And breathe. Chest comes square to the front of the mat. Depending on how you're feeling today, this may be super tight. Inhale. And then let it go when you exhale. Hands come back underneath you. Press up. Stretch back, downward facing dog. Take your gaze forward, walk or hop lightly, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen and fold. Press into your feet, come all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana, inhale. And hands down through the middle. Take a moment here. Okay, we ready? We're gonna go for another one. Inhale, come out and up. Exhale and fold. Halfway lift. And downward facing dog. Float your right leg up, inhale. And when you exhale, step it forward. Drop your back knee. Anjaneyasana. Inhale, take it up. When you exhale, you're gonna bring your hands back down to the mat for a second. All right, left hand's gonna stay. Sweep your left foot behind you. We're gonna take this right leg, swing it back, grab your foot, and come into another variation here. This is like a half Ardha Chandrasana, Shavasana variation. I'm just gonna keep spitting that out. Why not? Let your hips press toward the long edge of your mat as you kick your foot behind you. Oh, goodness. And then you're gonna take this right foot, step it forward again, swinging the left foot back behind you, crescent lunge, rise up. Boom. Sink down into your feet. Relax your shoulders, inhale. And when you exhale, we open warrior two. With fuzz balls in the armpits. Whoa. That's what you get for wearing fuzzy sweatshirts. It's all good. All right? From here, you're gonna straighten the front leg, reach out and over, Trikonasana. No big thing, just a little fuzzy armpit action. Feel your spine lengthen through the crown of your head. Tailbone's gonna lengthen out. And then top hand to your hip, take your gaze to the floor. From here, we're gonna hop forward into half moon pose, Ardha Chandrasana. And again, if you've got the block, why not? You can, even if you feel like you don't, quote unquote, need it, give it a whirl. Find your balance. And then again, we're gonna bend this top knee, see if we can find our Chapasana, our sugar cane variation. Roll open through that left shoulder. Kick your foot into your hands, scoop your tailbone. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna kick this foot back. All right, and then from here, drop your left fingertips to the block or the mat, and you're gonna take the left foot and step it back, but not as far as you normally would. Almost like we were in a short warrior one. Toes open, heel down, plant your hands, and sweep your right leg up and back into one of probably the tiniest downward facing dogs you've ever done. Little mini dog. And now you're gonna bend your right knee, press into your right hand, and grab this foot with your left. Now in the shorter stance, it's much easier to do. So if you feel like you're really flopping around, try to take your stance a little shorter. Maybe you're long. Or if you want to challenge yourself, you can lengthen the posture. Okay, and then left hand comes back down to the mat. You're gonna step your right foot to the back. Roll onto the outer edge of your right foot and come into a Vashisthasana. We're gonna do Kapinjalasana or partridge pose. You're gonna lift the left knee up, bend your heel in, and try to grab for this foot. So now the right leg has to really root into the mat, and I'm pushing through the ball of my foot. Hips press toward the front of the mat, foot kicks back. Try to find that sweet spot of balance. Then we let it go. Plant the hands into plank. And lower all the way down onto your stomach. Oh, bend both knees. Grab the tops of your feet or your ankles. Lift the heads of your arm bones. Kick your feet into your hands. And breathe. Inhale. And when you exhale, let it go. For just a moment here, rest on your forearms. You can bend your knees. Windshield wiper your legs. We ready? Let's do it again. Drop your feet to the mat. Slide your hands under your shoulders. Come on up. Downward facing dog. Pull it up. And stretch it back. Okay. Inhale. Take your left leg. Lift it up. Stretch it back. As you exhale, step your left foot up between your hands. Drop your back knee. Sweep your arms up. Deep breath in. And then a right hand comes to the mat. You're gonna sweep your right foot back behind you. Take this left leg, swing it back, grab a hold, and we're gonna come into our little half sugar cane. I won't say it again. I promise. Tailbone long, press your foot into your hand. This is a good practice for Kapinjalasana. This is the same place where you're trying to find balance on the side as you kick forward through the hips and back through that foot. All right, and now we're gonna take this left foot, step it forward again, spin it around, crescent lunge. Inhale. And when you exhale, open, find your warrior two. Here we go. Soften the shoulders, press through your feet. Inhale, straighten your left leg. Exhale, come out and reach over, Trikonasana. Staying long through your spine. Keep the side body hugged in so you can support this kind of cantilevering of your bones here, right? Okay, top hand to your hip, gaze to the floor, half moon, fingertips or block. And really work on stacking that right hip open. Take the top arm up. Yes. And then bend your right heel in. See if you can grab the foot here for sugar cane. Little Chapasana. Scoop the tailbone. Roll the right shoulder open. Okay. And we're going to kick this right leg back out. Spin the hips to square so the fingertips come to the mat. And you're going to step your right foot back, but not a giant step, not the usual kind of lungy step. Plant your hands and sweep the left leg up and back for teeny tiny down dog split. Bend your left knee. You're going to take your right hand to that left foot. Not so bad. And then release your right hand to the mat. Step your left foot back. We're going to come into bonk, side plank. Here we are. Okay, you can hang out here if you want to work your Kapinjalasana. We're going to bend the right leg, grab for the foot, and then lift the hips. Press the ball of your left foot down, press the floor away, and then kick your foot into your hand, hips toward the top of the mat, and breathe. It's hard to breathe here. Inhale, and when you exhale, release into your plank. Deep breath in, and then lower your knees. Come all the way down until you plop onto the floor. Come onto your chin or your forehead. Bend your knees. Grab your ankles to the tops of your feet. Roll your shoulders back. Kick your feet into your hands. Take another breath here. When you exhale, let it all go. Take a moment. Make a pillow with your hands. You can bend your knees. Once you wipe your legs. Okay, and then let your feet hit the floor. Slide your hands underneath your shoulders. Downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg sweeps up. And when you exhale, bring it forward into pigeon. You can shimmy the left leg back. Make sure things are doing okay back there. And then from here, you're gonna stay upright for a second. Press into the floor with this right shin. Feel your low belly lift. The pelvic floor is gonna lift a little bit, like you can really scoop yourself up. And see if you can walk the hands back and maybe stay upright here. If you're thinking, oh hell no, lady, you can take a block to the floor and take your right hand onto the block, maybe the left one too, and you can give yourself a little lift there and help yourself here. Okay? Keep the inner thighs scissoring. We're gonna bend that left knee. Your right hand can stay on the block or on the floor. We're gonna grab for that foot. Squeeze this left knee in toward your right heel as you lift your chest. Inhale. When you exhale, you can let it go. Get rid of the block if you don't want it anymore and lower yourself down. Finding some rest here. Take another breath. Then you're going to slide your forearms underneath you if you've kind of flattened yourself out. You're going to keep your left forearm on the mat, but kind of angle it across in front of your chest. And you're going to take your right hand outside your right knee to a place that seems to be sensible. You're going to lift up, inhale, and when you exhale, push into your left forearm, push into your right fingertips, and you're just going to spin your torso to the right. Inhale. And exhale slowly. Release the twist, slide your hands underneath you. Downward facing dog. Step it back. Left leg's going to lift, inhale. And then exhale, slide it forward, finding your pigeon on this side. Okay, same thing if you want to grab a block or a water bottle, whatever you have nearby, right? You're gonna draw the legs in, keep the low belly lifting, keep your tailbone tucking underneath. We don't want to take a super curve in the low back. That just feels like crap, right? So keep that lift in the low belly, press down, and maybe you can bring the hands back and you can keep yourself upright like this. If that's not a thing, then don't worry about it. We're working on it, right? Low belly lifts, pelvic floor lifts. Okay, left hand's gonna stay on the floor or the block. Bend your right knee, and we're just gonna reach back. One last foot grab. Yes, inhale. And when you exhale, release. Gonna get rid of the block unless you wanna lower your forearms onto it. And come on down. Take a moment's rest here. And then from here, gonna prop yourself up on your forearms. Guard dog is on duty. Take your right forearm, bring it across in front of you, and slide your left hand outside your left knee. Lengthen your spine and find your twist. Roll it out. Inhale. And then exhale, come back onto your forearms. Slide your hands underneath. Downward facing dog. Take your hips up and back. Work it out. Another breath. And then from here, you're gonna walk your feet forward to your hands, sink your butt to the ground, take a seat. We got one more twist and then we're donezo, right? So from here, I'm gonna sit up nice and tall. Take your right hand across to your left knee, left hand behind. Keep your shins parallel, so don't let the legs collapse in toward each other. You're gonna lengthen up and just twist it out. That's it, low back draws in and up. And then come back through center as you exhale. Take your left hand across, right hand behind. Inhale, lift, and as you exhale, you're gonna twist to the right. Feeling that low back draw in and up. Spine nice and long. And bring yourself back through center. And now if you'd like, just for a moment, you're gonna kind of curl in, chin to chest, close your eyes. Take a second to ask yourself if you want to just sit for a moment before you transition into your day, or if you really need a laying out kind of shavasana. Take a moment here. And if shavasana is your answer, then you're gonna pause the video for a little bit and lay down, give yourself as much time as you need. If you need to transition into the rest of your day because you're just taking a mini break, then find a comfortable seat. You can sit up on one of the blocks or on a pillow or something. Close your eyes. Take a moment here. Sitting bones rooted, heart lifted, spine lengthened. I just had to get that in there. And find your breath. Bring your palms together to Anjali Mudra. Take a moment to pause and honor this time on your mat and honor this dance of life that we are constantly moving through. And take a moment just to honor your playfulness, your sense of, what the hell? Let's give it a chance as you dance your way through your day. Thank you for spending your time with me. I look forward to practicing with you again. As always, like, subscribe if you haven't already. I've got a little subscription button there. There's some new videos up there. And always, 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 it was a pleasure. Have a great day.